The Dominic King Show.
BBC Radio Kent.
Right now we meet two photographers whose photographs of boats and the night sky at Dungeness have been grabbing attention. Local photographer Susan Pilcher has just had her work featured in Sky at Night magazine. But first, Mike Hardy telling us why he's obsessed with a boat he just can't stop taking pictures of in nearby Lydd-on-Sea.
So I'm here on this remote shingle beach around 2 miles from Dungeness Point. Nothing unusual in that, you might think, except to say it's almost 3 in the morning. It is pitch black, there is no moon, and it is absolutely freezing. It is around -3 degrees. I'm actually only around 100 metres or so from a row of unique houses that line the area where I'm in, known as Coast Drive. I've already seen a couple of lights go on and doors open. Security-conscious neighbours trying to figure out who on earth is crunching their way across noisy shingle at this time of the morning. I'm using a low-level red light to try and see my way. Red so as not to ruin my night vision. Last time I was here, I almost did myself a serious mischief, tripping up over a rusty old boat winch, which is still attached to its boat. And it is this boat, the reason being why I'm actually here in the first place, to photograph this old decrepit wooden sailing fishing boat that I've photographed and filmed on a number of occasions over the years. I use the term boat loosely here. It's actually a rotting, decaying carcass of a clinker-built fishing boat, which I understand was built in around 1910. It's seen its working life here on the southeast coast, and it's ended up here on this stretch of beach. Of course, it's not going to be a conventional photograph using lighting or a flash. I'm going to make a series of long exposures, keeping the camera shutter open for 20 or 25 seconds at a time in order to hopefully capture this amazing, brilliant star-filled sky. And that is the reason I'm here at this ridiculous time of the morning, because it is what is known as early Milky Way season. And that time of the year in the UK when the dusty, star-speckled core of the Milky Way galaxy begins to put in an appearance, as it is right now, just above the horizon of the English Channel. Yeah, it is freezing, so I'm not planning on hanging around too long. So I'm all set up here with camera and tripod. And here goes, and hopefully everything's in frame. I honestly have no idea why I should be so attracted to and enchanted by this old wreck, which has been here on this bit of beach for years, all the time that I've lived down here. It's increasingly becoming full of holes. It's wooden planks rotting and falling away. It's one single remaining mast becoming thinner, shorter and more tapered as the elements eat and wear it away. There is the remains of a name plate, barely legible, on what remains of its starboard bow, and I can make out the name JenniRay. And from what I've been able to ascertain, Ray was a local man who named this vessel after himself and the love of his life, Jenny. Sadly, I know that Ray long passed away, but Jenny takes frequent walks close by here with a little dog. I'd love to know what memories this magical old boat holds for her. I'd love to give her one of those photographs, one of these photographs, assuming they turn out okay. This JenniRay sailed its last trip many, many years ago, and sadly, it must only be a question of time until it becomes driftwood on the beach before disappearing forever. But I like to think, hopefully, like Ray and Jenny, we'll get to sail these stars forever.
It was so lovely hearing about the effect that boat has had on you.
Yes, I don't exactly know why it is. I'm so attracted to a boat full of holes. It's never going to sail again. I'm sure psychologists would have a field day with that. But it's been there pretty much all the time I've lived down here, which is about 20 years now. And obviously it was far more substantial when I first came down here. And I've been taking photographs and video of it for some years now. And it just seems each season that comes round, or by season I mean the Milky Way season, when you can come and take some photographs of it, it just seems to be less of it. There's more holes in it. It's missing another plank. Its one remaining mast is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as the wind and the elements eat it away. Every time I come down and say that's the last time I'm going to photograph it, I've got everything I need. I've got some time lapse, I've got some still images, I've got some nightscapes, and I think I never. But every time the opportunity comes, I think I'm going to go down to the JenniRay and photograph it. Yeah, very strange.
We heard in that piece that you were really hoping that you'd be able to connect with Jenny, the real Jenny of the JenniRay, and that's happened, hasn't it?
Well, it did. I posted a couple of the images on social media. Hundreds of people from the area said they were fantastic images. Whereabouts was the boat? And a couple of people actually said to me, yeah, that is the JenniRay, and a couple of people actually did say it belonged to a gentleman called Ray, who named it obviously after himself and his wife. And then someone else added, yeah, I think Jenny lives quite close by to the boat. And then someone else said, yeah, she still walks her dog past that boat every day.
Because the JenniRay is not far from where we're chatting now. We're on Dungeness.
Yeah, it's not far at all. It's a little more than a mile, probably and a half further along, eastwards along this coast. And it turns out that Jenny actually lives directly opposite the boat. She spends her time with a little dog, watching it through her window, seated at the window watching it.
Does she like the boat?
Actually, she hates it. Her husband, of course, loved it. It was his passion. And although it's an old clinker-built fishing boat, he used it purely for pleasure. She would never set foot on it. She hated the idea of going on the water, but it was his passion. And there was I felt a tinge of sadness because she's watching it, and she's watching it decaying, and she did mention the kids sometimes come and jump on it and pull a piece off it. But I think, yeah, I mean, Ray's, bless him, has long been gone. Jennifer and her husband were publicans, so they're used to, I think, to the hard rigours of life, and she has no time, I think, for sentimentality. I did show her one of the pictures that I'd taken, and she was quite mesmerised by it. And I did promise her that I would have a nice print made, and I would go and take it to her and present it with her. And she was quite excited about that.